Coming up on this week's episode, we're talking Chelsea, Manchester United and Tottenham. I have this week's quiz. Liam has a Who Am I, plus more Wonders Are White, so let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode of View from the Sideline podcast. It's Chris here. Liam's here as well. Hello, Liam.
Evening, Chris. How you doing?
So.
So. Did you fall asleep through your game this weekend at all? I definitely did.
Yeah. We're going to talk about more of that later. Yeah, not so great. But I went to watch the Oval, and in the FA Cup second qualifying round.
There.
Yeah, it was 7-1 to the Oval. So a good outing for them to get some goals as well, which is good. But AFC Stoner, they played well in the stages of the game. You know, I have to hand it to them, and they did bring a lot of support with them as well, which was good. So yeah, Didcot in the next round for the Oval, which is another team below them, below lower leagues. So hopefully another victory there, and they can move on in the competition. There's a lot of teams.
FA Cup run is always it's always worth the money, isn't it?
Yeah. So the National League teams come in next after this round. They come in next round. So I mean, they'll probably try to avoid any of those and get a first round tie against one of the League 1, League 2 sides. So yeah, it was nice to go there, and weather wasn't as great as last time I went, but no, it was all right.
Saw plenty of goals. Got your money's worth. That's the main thing.
I certainly did. Yeah, not like if I'd go and watch Chelsea right now.
No,
not
at all.
Not worth the money at all. But yeah, so this week we are going to sort of talk about three teams who are having. Two of them are having a sort of a bad start of the season, whereas one I think is probably doing a bit better than expected. So we're going to start with my team, Chelsea, and I guess we're just going to talk about in general sort of the start that they've made. So from my point of view, it's a difficult one because obviously you've got Pochettino coming out in the press conferences saying that his squad is small at the moment due to injuries. And then I saw a picture online yesterday of a starting 11, but it was an injured Chelsea 11. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of it would probably be a Premier League team looking at it, because there is a lot of players out at the moment, and I'm not using it as an excuse, but I don't think it's helping the situation.
I think I saw that same diagram, and I think it said almost £400 million worth of talent is on your injury table at the moment.
Yeah. So, and I was looking through that team, and I was thinking at least 6 of them would probably be starters, especially Reece James and Kunku. Definitely those two would be, starting the games. So yeah, it's just. It is hard to take, I guess, as a fan at the moment, because they aren't playing great. I mean, yesterday it was 75 minutes of pressure, and then they sort of realised that they weren't going to score, and then they sat back and played for the draw, which I think, was the wrong decision. I think if we would have kept going, we might have been able to get one in, but it's not to say that we're not creating chances. It's just chances that we're having aren't being taken, or it's the tad unlucky. But he slightly changed it yesterday, where he played 4 at the back, as opposed to the 5 that he has been playing. So Colwell played left back yesterday, ahead of Chilwell, which I was quite surprised by. And Enzo Fernandez looked knackered after about 60 minutes. I think he needed to come off a bit sooner. I don't know if you saw Match of the Day 2 last night, but they did say, Jermaine Genius said that he would rather have had Bournemouth's bench than Chelsea's bench today.
I did see that. I did.
We had 2 goalkeepers on the bench, and then we had 4 players, I think, who haven't even kicked a ball for Chelsea first team. And then there was a couple of other fringe players on there. So I just, from my point of view, I wouldn't say I'm worried at the moment. I mean, after last season, I don't think it will get worse than last season. I just think it's just going to take. We beat Luton 3-0. We haven't really progressed from that. I wouldn't say, if anything, we've probably gone a little bit backwards. But I think once he gets these players back fit and his playing system kind of kicks in, I think he needs to realise what's best. 5 at the back, 4 at the back. I personally felt that even though we didn't score yesterday, we looked more threatening yesterday than what we did against Forest a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I think as far as Jackson goes, I think he's definitely got goals in him. He just needs that 1 goal, 2 goals in a game to kickstart him, and then he'll get on. And like I said, the injured players are going to start filtering through between now and Christmas. So you'd think by January, touch wood, as long as no one else gets injured, sort of January we'll have a fully strength team. Who knows? Who knows? I think, from my point of view, I think at the moment I can't see it getting any worse. I think it can only get better from now on.
Yeah, I watched the game yesterday. I didn't watch Match of the Day, but I did see Jermaine Genius's comments, and he had a point. You probably would have taken Bournemouth's bench over yours yesterday, but looking at some of the play that you had going forward, it was progressive until it just got to that final pass yesterday. That was all that was missing. I think it's just Jackson, he's making all the right runs, he's appearing in the right areas, but I just think he's low on confidence at the moment. It's the old-fashioned saying, isn't it? He just needs one to go in off his backside, and then he'll go on a bit of a run. But I think hopefully it helps him that he knows his main rival for that starting spot is going to be out injured for a little while, so he's got a bit of a grace period to kind of get in and settle in. He'll be hoping that will come, but he just looked yesterday. He had a couple of probably more half chances than anything, but he just didn't look like he was acting on his instincts and putting his foot through the ball. There was a couple of times he just looked a bit indecisive, didn't know whether to pass, didn't know whether to shoot, that kind of thing. And that was all that I think was really missing. Defensively, I think you look pretty solid. That it's clear that the players are putting in the effort. I don't think there was any lack of a shift from anyone, especially not the midfield. I think the midfield worked really hard yesterday. I thought Gallagher had quite a good game, actually. I thought he played well, probably had the best chance.
Captain yesterday as well.
Yeah, and he played like he played like he felt he deserved it. He did play like he had that responsibility yesterday.
Yeah, I've always said that about him.
Yeah,
he's always there for the fight. He's always there to give above and beyond.
Yeah. Have you noticed a change in? This might sound a bit of a daft question, but have you noticed a change in the style of football from last season? Anything to give you a bit of hope?
I would say the style of play I don't think has changed too much, because like you said, Dan, it's the final ball, and it was the final ball last season, and it's the final ball again this season, where players like Mudryk, who is inexperienced in the league and still young, not always making yesterday he had a chance to put one across the floor, and instead he put it in the air, and no one could bring it down. So I wouldn't say attacking wise I don't think it is. Defensively we look a lot more, we look better. We look, there seems to be more of a fight at the back. The new guy Disasi, I think looks really good. I think he'll keep his place. I think when Badashile comes back, I think he might start over Silva. I still think Silva's, he's an incredible defender, even at 38. He's
couple
still
of dodgy
solid.
moments yesterday.
Yeah,
He's not like it's quite common now to have a defender who can ping 40-yard balls, on a sixpence to the midfield, and he's not that kind of defender. But he still looks solid. He positionally, he knows how to make up for not having the pace.
Yeah, the player that we missed the most though is Reece James. I think Gusto's done all right since he's come in, but when we played Liverpool at the start of the season, he was the threat when he had the ball and he was running with it. He was providing, decent crosses into the box, and I know he's a right back, but when we're playing five at the back, he's almost a winger. Him and Chilwell almost are playing, left wing, right wing. So I don't know. I haven't seen a huge change in style. I think we're more well-rounded, and I think we're more rehearsed, better. Ugachukwu, that's what I'm going to call him anyway, played well yesterday, I thought, for his first full start for the club. But you've got players like Chukwuemeka, who's going to come back, and I think he's going to fight for his place. I thought, until he got injured, he was probably one of the better players this season. So he looks up for the fight as well, which is good. I think he's got all the tools there to make this a successful, stint in charge. I just think there's a lot of injuries at the moment, and a lot of the team are young. We've got a very young team. I must try and find out, like, the average age of our squad. Now Azpilicueta's gone. It must be quite, Thiago Silva's still propping it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I thought when Cole Palmer came on yesterday for Mudryk, I thought that was a positive change. I thought he was, you can almost tell what he wants to do. He wants to run down, the side and cut inside.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the sort of player he is. He's almost like Sterling. Sterling loves taking people on, doesn't he? And he loves, like, making that quick change.
Yeah.
In direction. And he played well yesterday still. I thought he was unlucky not to score, actually, but you got to say he looks the more likely to score a goal for us at the moment.
Yeah, he has been, I think, probably your standout player so far this season.
Yeah, and when you look back last season, he was a shadow of himself, really, wasn't he? He wasn't involved in anything, really, and he looked lost, I think, last season. I think mainly because he was being made to play left wing back. I think probably didn't help. But from what I hear from him, he's and I'm hearing more positive things about, the manager and about the work that they're putting into training, and, once it comes into the match day experience and, once it clicks, it's just getting it to click, and they just need that one big result, preferably next weekend. That would be good,
yeah. And also as well, just touching on the lack of goals as well at the moment, it'd be interesting to see whether Brozier gets a go when he comes back.
Yeah, he's another one as well. So he is, from what I hear, is almost ready to come back. He's training, so he'll be, I think, probably another 2-3 weeks, and he'll be back. Because at the moment we don't have an out-and-out striker on the bench, other than the youngsters that he's having to bring up because we don't have that cover.
Yeah.
So when he comes back, he definitely gives us another option to go with, which is good because, like I said, Nkunku isn't. Well, he's not scheduled back till end of December. So you think he's got to get match fit and he's got to get ready. So he's not going to be really ready until at least the middle partway through January, is he? So
yeah,
it's going to be like a new signing, I guess, for us. But not technically
so
not. But
just to confound your misery, just to run down the list, this is the 11 that I was told. I say was told that Match of the Day put out on social media. So Bettinelli is out injured. Reece James, Shalabah, Fofana as well, big loss. Kukureya, Kukureya probably wouldn't start now with Chilwell being fit.
He was on the bench. He's been on the bench though, and he's come on. But yeah, he's not there.
Lavia, Caicedo, Chukwuemeka in midfield.
So the Caicedo one, he got injured. Apparently, he got a muscle injury in international duty, and they were gonna. He was having a scan today, I think, so they should find out more today. Lavia, I'm not sure about Lavia because I've heard contradicting things of that he's not fit, and then some people are saying he's actually injured, but I'm not too sure.
Who knows? I mean, he's not played for you yet, has he?
No. So he signed, and then they basically said he needed to get match fit, and then I haven't heard anything since.
Time in the under-23s then, or under-21s I think they are now again. And then up front you've got Madueke and Kunku and Brozier, and I think we've touched on 2 out of the 3. Madueke probably wouldn't be starting, but would definitely be on the bench, I think. So, yeah, and that's £385 million worth of players, which is more than most squads in the Premier League.
To be fair, a quarter of that is through Fofana.
Yes, to be fair, and Bettinelli was free as well, so that's 10 players really that have cost you that.
I mean, Bettinelli injured. I don't know where he is on the pecking order right
now. No, I don't know.
Signed another goal.
4th choice, something like that. But it'd be interesting to see what you do with the rest of the season anyway.
I mean, we could kickstart the season this weekend, right?
Who have you got next? Remind me.
You, innit?
Is it us?
I think so, yeah.
I'm too busy basking in wins at the moment.
Stop basking because we're coming. I'm almost certain we're playing you.
It is, yeah. At 2 o'clock
on Sunday, isn't it?
2 o'clock on Sunday. Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's not our next game though, Chris. We've got.
I was about to say we wouldn't probably be playing on Sunday because you're in the stupid bloody Conference League or Europa League, whatever you're in.
The glorious Europa Conference League, and we're playing your second team, Chris, on Thursday.
Hey?
We're playing Legia.
Oh.
Your favourite Polish team.
I'll have to go see that one.
Nice.
What did you do if you turned the TV on and you saw me at the front of the Legia with a massive drum, like getting the chants ready for the Legia? Are you our early kickoff? Are you? They're paid the bum, those ones.
Yeah.
The early
5:45.
That's an awful time to have a game of football.
I know. Yeah, but finish work and TV straight on for that one.
So you'll be tired, so we might have a chance.
Yeah, be a long tiring trip to Poland on the Thursday, but it'd be interesting to see what team he plays. I know we're not talking really much about Villa in this.
Well, you beat us twice
in this pod, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what team he likes to put out in the Conference League. I know he obviously tends to go big in Europe, doesn't he, Emery? So I imagine it'll be a strong team.
I'm not sure about the Conference League, but it's the Europa League.
Yeah, that'll be us next season. Let's have confidence in Emery.
I think if you win the Conference League, you go into the Europa League, don't you?
Yeah. It's West Ham.
So technically, you could win the Conference League and finish 15th. Go into Europe.
Yep.
Get relegated, but win the Europa League, and you're in the Champions League.
Yep.
In the Championship.
Yes, you can indeed.
You do that. I want Villa to do do that.
That's what Birmingham did, didn't Birmingham won the League Cup.
Awful. Yeah, they were awful. They were in the Championship and they were terrible.
This is on a bit of a tangent now, but do you remember when Millwall played in Europe as well because they got to the FA Cup final and Man United qualified because I think Man United won the league. So they qualified for the Champions League, which meant Millwall got a place in the, I think, UEFA Cup or something back then.
That's the year after, that's when they changed the rules to say that the runners-up of the FA Cup wouldn't get a European place. It would be it would go to the league.
Well, no one wants Millwall in Europe, do they? So harsh.
Right, let's laugh at someone else now. Let's laugh at Man United. Everyone can laugh with us. I'm not going to laugh because they're above us in the league. So
only just.
But, I think maybe we wanted to touch on Man United, not purely on the basis that just losing on Saturday. But what I was going to touch on was I think the owners of that club and the Glaziers, I think it's time that they made up their mind on what they're actually doing. Do you think this sort of negativity from the board affects the way they play, or do you just think that the manager's he's not getting the most out of the players? Because I watched the highlights of the game and they didn't look very well organised at all.
No. I'm going to be honest. I think Man United fans might not like me for saying this, but I know that they've not been run particularly well. I know that there's stories about the investment not going into like the facilities and the stadium and things like that. And I get that. As a fan of that club, you'd be frustrated if your owners were not putting the investment into where you're spending your time and your money every week. But that doesn't affect, maybe if it's not going in the training facilities, but just let's put that for one side for the minute. That doesn't really affect performance, I don't think, of the players on the pitch. And I think at the moment, it's not necessarily the owners of Man United, it's the whole hierarchy of the club. And the reason I say that is because there's obviously, we're not going to talk too much about like Mason Greenwood or anything like that, but I don't think that was handled brilliantly. They've obviously had a similar thing with Anthony recently, which I don't think has been handled particularly brilliantly. Jadon Sancho has now had a bit of a spat with the manager, and I just think all the responsible sort of the people that are higher up in the hierarchy are inconsistent. I think the structure around the transfers that they buy in is always inconsistent. They've not got a plan. No. And I don't think that's the owners. They've always been pretty hands-off. They've always funded the club, I think, pretty well, albeit through slightly dodgy means with loans and selling assets and, how can they afford this? They've always been at the centre of a few rumours about how they're managing to afford to bring the players in that they can. But let's face it, Man United is still one of the biggest clubs in the world. They're supported worldwide, so I don't necessarily doubt that. I just think it's the organisational structure. I guess that does come from the ownership down, but yeah. They've always been hands off, right? They've always said we'll provide the platform and the funds, and it's managed by. It was David Gill, wasn't it, for a bit, and then he left. I don't know who their chairman is now. I can't remember. But it's that kind of level. I don't necessarily think it's the owners because they've funded the club well. Let's be honest. They've been backed in the transfer market. Every manager that they've bought in, some of the decisions I don't think, worked particularly well. But every manager they've bought in has had money to spend. It's not like they've ever cut back. They've ever said, this year we now need to save a bit of money, we need to sell players or whatever. But I don't think the owners are necessarily to blame. I don't know who makes the decisions for transfers with Man United, but I think that's where it starts. They're bringing in the wrong types of personality, and I don't think the discipline is there. Ten Hag's trying to enforce it, I think. Look at the Jadon Sancho issue at the moment. That is Ten Hag trying to put a bit of authority on it.
Yeah.
But I just think the way that they're being run in the boardroom is pretty poor at the moment.
Yeah, because like you said, that it's not that they haven't spent money, is it? When they've set their eyes on someone, they've generally gone after them. They might not have got them always. but they've spent, a lot of money on this guy from Atlanta, Hoyland.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it will probably take time for him to, get used to the sort of football in this country and the strength of this, the football that we play as well. But I think looking at their, we thought, they said that Chelsea's bench was a bit thin, but when you look at Manchester United on Saturday, they had a substitute goalie. They had Johnny Evans, who I don't think anyone in their right mind would probably think he'd be playing for Man United again. They had Garnacho, but then they had Gore, Maguire, Martial, Hannibal, Palestri, and Wan-Bissaka.
Mm-hmm. It's not the depth of Man United of old, is it? It's not.
No. And
not
when you look at their actual team that they had on, they had Dalot, Lindelof, and Reguilon. Now, I'm always a firm believer of, yes, you should loan players, but Reguilon wasn't getting in the Tottenham team, so I don't understand why they would feel the need to sign him. I mean, they went after Cucurella as well, and he's probably played a lot more than what Reguilon did last season. I mean, and if he can't get in the Tottenham team, that must be saying something. Eriksen, I think he's lost a step or two over the last 12 months. Rashford just doesn't look confident whatsoever. I mean, for me, Rashford, I think he's better playing out wide. I don't think he's an out-and-out striker, but he does miss some good chances.
Yeah.
I don't think he always makes the right decisions either when he's on the ball. Bruno Fernandes is a good player, as is Casemiro, but you've got McTominay there as well. I know he's the top scorer in the European Championships, I know that, but you look at this team, and even the team like David Moyes inherited from Alex Ferguson, I would say that team is better than the team that they've got now.
Yeah.
You think of the teams of Man United past, and you look at this team and they've got, this is going to sound really bad, but Eriksen, McTominay, Reguilon, Lindelof, Dalot, even I don't think the goalkeeper's that good, if I'm honest. He's alright, but I wouldn't say he's not. I don't think they should have got rid of De Gea. I think De Gea was. I think he was a steady pair of hands. I know he made the mistake or two, but most keepers do.
Yeah.
I don't think they needed to buy this guy. Honestly.
No, I thought they should have kept De Gea as well.
I think De Gea should have stayed. I didn't understand the whole process behind of letting him go. I mean, they signed Mason Mount for a lot of money. And where's he? He's injured. Luke Shaw, they're probably best wing back, either right or left. I'd play him. If he was fit, he'd be playing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's injured a lot of the time now, isn't he?
Yeah, and so, I think, I do agree that De Gea was a bit of a strange one for me. I personally, I didn't play to any decent standard, but whenever I did play football, I used to be in goal. I don't necessarily think that a goalkeeper being able to use their feet particularly well adds enough to warrant the potential disasters that await when the keeper gives the ball away. But, different managers have their different styles. And I think the other thing that I would probably add to that, if we can pick up that Man United are potentially overspending on people, paying a lot of money for players that are sat on teams' benches, I can only imagine the gleeful feeling that owners get when Man United contact them and say, we're interested in one of your players, and they probably add another 10, 20 million onto the price tag.
Yeah.
And I've got no doubt that happened with Mount. I've got no doubt that happened with Hoyland, because I think, he's a young talent, and he's a good talent, and the bits I've seen of him so far I quite like. But was it 72 million for someone who scored 9 goals last year? I still think that even in this day and age, that is a huge, huge price tag. for a young striker that's relatively unproven in top divisions. He might go on and prove me wrong, and he might end up being Man United's top scorer for years to come. I genuinely don't know, but it's a big gamble. Either way you look at it, it's a massive gamble paying that price tag. When you consider that, I know we're talking a long, long time ago, but what did they originally pay for Cristiano Ronaldo? Was it about 12 million, something like that, for an unproven guy in a not particularly favourable league as well? So, I just think they've now got that reputation. It's going to be really hard to get rid of it. That when Man United come knocking, they're willing to pay that extra 10, 15, 20 million pounds. Because I bet any club now that picks up a phone call from them about one of their players is just, we'll just slap on an extra zero, and they'll be willing to pay for it. So,
just before we move on to Tottenham, I think the fear factor of Man United is gone. I don't think teams are scared of going to Old Trafford anymore.
No,
I don't think that's been. I think that's been an issue for like 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember growing up. I know they had a significantly better team, sort of in the 90s and the noughties. But I remember, as a kid growing up, watching them, thinking, "Oh, they got Man United next," thinking, "There's no way they're going to win that. Literally no way."
Yeah, no one was ever going to win at Old Trafford. Every time Villa got drawn away at Old Trafford in every single season for the FA Cup, and every time we go, well, that's us out then. Now, I think if we got drawn with United in a cup, I think we've got a decent chance of this. But you just never expected to win under Ferguson at Old Trafford. Never. Even in the days when Chelsea started winning things under Mourinho with Abramovich's money, I don't even think when you were winning the league by 12 points or however many, I don't even think you would still expect to go there and win.
No, I know what you mean. It's just strange how it's literally ever since Ferguson's left, really, hasn't it? They've been not on a huge downward spiral, because some seasons they have managed to get in the top 4, but I don't think that for any time soon they're going to relive that sort of era of football that they had under him.
No, they're going to have to prize a top manager away from, let's be honest, a club that they hate and who hates them. Because really, I think the only managers that are out there at the moment that will get that Man United team winning again are Guardiola or Klopp.
Mm-hmm.
And they both play for Man United's biggest rivals, so they're not joining anytime soon, unless they do something drastic. I'm going to put it in an analogy, and I'm going to say, when I was growing up, everybody hated Liverpool, and I could never figure out why, because I was born in 1990, and Liverpool didn't win anything really until the Champions League in Istanbul. A few cups and things like that, but I could never figure out why everybody hated them so much and said they won all the time. Because when I was growing up, even though they had Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler, and people like that, they were still finishing 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. They were up there, but not at the top. And I've got a feeling that Man United are going to go through a drought similar to what Liverpool had. I mean, they're halfway there, to be honest.
Well,
they haven't won the league since, was it 2013? So they're 10 years in, and I can't remember how many years it was for Liverpool. Was it 21, 22 years between winning? Well, it must be more than that.
I think it might be more, actually.
Well, yeah, maybe it's nearer 30, but I've got a feeling that they're going to go on a run like that unless they do something pretty drastic soon, and I think most of that involves a change in ownership probably, but a change in the board definitely.
Let's just wait and see, I guess. But Chelsea and Man United, they seem to be in the same boat at the moment. So, apart from Man United, have conceded a lot more goals. I'm just saying. Anyway, Tottenham.
Yes.
I think a lot of. Would you say that a lot of people are probably surprised at the start that they've had, considering the huge the huge gap that was left from Harry Kane.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people were thinking,
consider,
where's it going to go? Where are the goals going to come from?
Yeah, I consider myself in that bunch because I very much doubted the appointment of Postecoglou, and then once Kane had left, I thought that's a mid-table finish for Spurs this year, and it still might be, but the early signs are very positive. They've got a very clear direction, a very clear method of playing. The players look like they're buying into it. Obviously, Spurs fans will just hope that it lasts, but you never know what's going to happen after the first defeat, I suppose. But what I will say is, sorry Spurs fans for doing this, but I think I said to you off air, Chris, Nuno Santo won Manager of the Month in his first month at Spurs. Jose Mourinho won Manager of the Month in his first month at Spurs. And it didn't end particularly well for either of them.
I mean, Santos didn't even last till Christmas, did he?
No. So there is still a long way to go, but I guess they knew all summer long that Kane was going to leave. And although they haven't directly replaced him as a goal scorer, I wouldn't say up front. I think what they've done, which is quite smart, is they've said there are other people in the team that will get goals, but it's the assists that he was getting. It's the link up with Son that they were going to miss. And I think buying in a player like Maddison was a really, really smart move. I know he's not going to get 25 goals like Kane will, but he might be able to get somewhere near the assists that Kane provides, and it might give Son that little bit of help to go on and get the 25 goals himself. So I think that's a smart bit of business, and I've been impressed by Maddison so far.
Yeah, he won Player of the Month, didn't he?
Yeah, and rightly so.
Did we both put him down as our bargain, or was it just me? I put him down as the bargain of the transfer winner, didn't I? Yeah. See,
just let me get my notes up, and I'll confirm it to you.
No, yeah, I put Maddison, but I just think that I think for Tottenham, it just doesn't look like they're playing with pressure, really. They just don't. They just seem to be playing like free-flowing football. And if anything, Kane leaving, I think, has made other people in that team, step up and, look better in some ways.
Yeah.
I think Son score more goals.
Yeah. Defensively, they've looked solid as well.
Yeah, it's really annoying. I'm not going to lie. Really annoying. I just, yeah. You just got to hope that the wheels come off at some point and the whole thing derails. But you just, at the moment, like you said, that the way that they're set up, they've all bought into it. And even in games that they haven't played very well, like the first game of the season against Brentford, they didn't play very well at all. And they still got a point. Yeah. And since then, they've been scoring for fun. So, I don't know. I think we all hope that it goes wrong, but let's hope that come 37 games of the season, they're not still right up there, eh?
I'm just going to refer back to your predictions. So you've got the best signing of the summer was actually Nicholas Jackson. But I think you did give a mention to James Maddison as being quite a close second, if I remember rightly. But also, your biggest underachiever is Spurs, and your wild prediction is Postecoglou to be sacked before Christmas.
There we go then. He's got the curse of the Manager of the Month. So,
yes.
We'll just sit and wait and just hope and pray that he loses his job. But he has done well, actually. All things considering, I think a lot of people, questioned why they brought him in. But it is what it is, and if they keep playing like they're playing, they are going to mount. They might not win the league, but they are going to be up there, and they're going to be chasing. Because I still think Man City are going to win the league. So yeah. So that's it for part one. We'll be back in part two with a quiz, a Who Am I? and some wonders of white. Hello and welcome back to part 2 of this week's episode, and we're going to go into some wonders of white. So, since the start of last season, Arsenal have scored more goals from corners than any other team in the Premier League. They're at 16 at the moment.
Wow. They're not particularly tall, so that's not bad going.
Yeah, I don't know why I put this one there. Right, since Graham Potter won his first 2 Premier League away games in charge of Chelsea, Chelsea have only managed 2 further victories in 16 away matches in the Premier League. They've drawn 5 and lost 9.
Wow.
And just the 2 games that they did win were Palace and Villa. Just say it.
Thanks. Cheers, mate.
That's all right. I had to put something, a silver line on there somewhere. There were 44 yellow cards shown to players in the Premier League on Saturday, and that's the most on a single day in the competition's history.
Yeah,
the last was 43 on August the 22nd, 1998.
Wow. Yeah, they're getting pretty hot on the time wasting, aren't they, I think, so...
You can't kick the ball away even now, can you? I was pushing yellow cards for that as well, for just kicking the ball, like, just slightly in front, like, away from the player taking a free kick, you get a yellow card.
I've got to admit, though, I quite like that. That is a pet peeve of mine, when players are doing that. It's like, they know what they're doing. They're not quite kicking it away, but it's just, it really used to annoy me, so I'm all for that.
And last but not least, this is about Big Ange. He is currently unbeaten in 50 home league matches as a manager. He's got 42 wins and 142 goals.
Wow.
That's almost pretty good average of 3 goals a game at home.
That's not bad going.
That runs over 3 clubs. So that runs for Yokohama, Celtic and Spurs.
So he's unbeaten at home
in the last 50. Yeah, in the last 50 home league matches as a manager, he has not lost. 142 goals.
That is pretty impressive, to be fair. Even in Scotland, that's impressive.
Right, I've got a quiz for you.
Yeah, this is a total surprise. I don't know what we're about this week.
So, this quiz is inspired by Big Ange.
Oh, God.
It's nicknames.
Nice.
Football teams' nicknames.
Thank God. I thought it was going to be about Australians.
No. So this is 10. I've chosen 10 teams at random. And I've got their... have their... name, the team name, and I have their nickname, but it's up to you for each question whether you want the team or the nickname.
Okay.
And then you have to guess vice versa which one is
okay.
For, okay. So question number 1, would you like the nickname or the team name?
So I'll start with team name, and then what I'm going to do is alternate. I'm going to alternate for every question. So I'll start with the team name on this one.
They get progressive. They're easy, and then they get a little bit harder, and then they get a little bit easy again.
Okay.
So first one. So what did you want? Sorry, first team or?
Give me the team name first.
Okay, so the team name is Bournemouth. What's their club nickname?
They are the Cherries, I believe.
Cherries. Okay, so you wanted to alternate. So next is the Blades.
The Blades. That's Sheffield United. I had to be very careful then.
United. Next up is Bristol City.
Oh God, Bristol City. I think they're the same as Cheltenham. I think they're the Robins.
I was literally about to say, I have a clue for you, and that clue would have been Alfie May's ex-team.
Nice. I think, Robins. Nice.
Okay, Liam. So you've got 3 out of 3. I haven't got a pen. Liam, the next one is the Pilgrims.
That's Plymouth.
Is Plymouth. Can you tell me Ipswich's club nickname?
I can. It's either the Tractors or the Tractor Boys. I think it's the Tractor Boys.
Final answer?
Yes.
Correct. Who are the Cobblers?
Oh, the Cobblers are, I want to say, Northampton. Yeah, Northampton.
Correct. Barnet.
Barnet. Interestingly, I was going to do Edgar Davids as your Who Am I? Of course, a former Barnet legend, but I want to say the Bees. The Bees? Barnet Bees?
Is the Bees.
Oh, that was a bit of a guess, to be honest.
The Hornets. This is just, I didn't even realise I'd done this.
The Bees and the Hornets.
I didn't even realise. The Hornets.
Wasps coming next. That is Watford. I know that one.
Peterborough.
Posh, yeah. I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah. Maurizio Pochettino. Yep.
Of course.
And last but not least, to get a full house, the Royals.
The Royals. That is Reading.
And that is 10 out of 10.
Oh, that doesn't happen very often.
The club nicknames, yeah.
I'm chuffed with that.
Bees
very,
and the
very happy.
I didn't even realise I'd done that.
Yeah, Bees and the Hornets.
Next week, reading through it.
Next week is all animal-based nicknames. I am chuffed with 10 out of 10. Very pleased with that. It's not often that happens for me, so a big moment. Would you like a Who Am I to finish?
Yeah, is it one that you've done before?
I don't know if it's one that I've done before. They're all sort of blending it.
We are now getting to the stage where Liam has done probably about 70 episodes, so we've alternated, so he's done about 35 Who Am I's, and he's a bit worried that he's duplicating.
I am a little bit worried, because I tend to go for people that haven't played for too many teams just to try and give you a bit of a chance.
Not like Frank Noble.
Not like Frank Noble.
He did score at the week. I've seen him score another goal as well.
Well, he scored in the FA Cup.
He did score, yeah, he did score. He scored a header, yeah. Nice,
that's a highlight for him, I'm sure, scoring against AFC Stoneham. I don't think I've done this one before, but I look at his career and I think it's the kind of career I might have read out before, but I'm going to do it anyway. I think they're retired, so I'm going to give you all the teams.
Right. Okay, everything.
I don't think you'll need any clues, but I have some if required. So, first club they started at is Cannes. They then moved to AC Milan, then on to Arsenal, then Juventus, Inter Milan, and then finally Manchester City. And that is their whole career.
Very strange.
So I do have some clues, and I will let you choose some clues if you feel like they're needed. I'll let you choose. I will give you a date that they played for any one of those 6 clubs, or I will give you their international winnings.
Okay, right. I think I've got a feeling I might know who this is. Because there's 3 teams in there that have sparked some suspicion. The Arsenal and the Man City one.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the first team was Cannes, that makes me think that he's definitely French. Now,
might be.
I'm thinking back to French. If he's retired, French. You've got Henry. He didn't play for Man City.
No, he did not.
Sylvain Wiltord. I think he played for Juventus. That guy didn't play for Man City. Grimondi. Was he French? Was he French?
I think, yeah, he was. Yeah.
He definitely didn't play for Man City.
No, Remy Gard didn't play for Man City either. No Remy Gard. You can cross him off the list.
I think that in and amongst these French players, there was another French player who might be managing a French team right now.
Possibly.
I think you're downplaying this. I think that I know it's Patrick Vieira. I don't know why I'm stalling.
Could have been Gael Clichy.
It could have been Gael Clichy. He did play for Man City, but he also played for about 18 other different teams around Europe.
Could have been Bakary Sagna.
Yeah, you're right. You're reading off some more, but
this is my thing. I mean, it's not either of them. It is Patrick Vieira, but it could have been. Yeah, it is Patrick Vieira. Well done.
He retired at Man City.
He did retire at Man City, and then he took over their youth team. So that was going to be another potential clue if you didn't get it. I was going to tell you his managerial career, which is quite varied. Man City youth team, New York City FC, Nice, Crystal Palace, and now Strasbourg, as you say, managing in France.
To be fair, the French and Arsenal connection yields a lot of players.
Yeah, it
could have been, but unfortunately, a lot of them weren't good enough to play for the Italian teams that you named well.
And I've got to be honest, I can't picture Patrick Vieira in an Inter Milan shirt. I think that's just been taken out of my mind completely. I remember him playing for Juventus.
He was at AC Milan. Was he at AC Milan for long?
He was there for 1 year and he played 2 games for AC Milan. And then Arsenal bought him.
Arsenal bought him off the back of him playing 2 games in AC Milan?
Yep. He made just 2 first-team appearances for the club.
Right, whoever scouted him, I'll tell you what, they didn't have to play there. It's a bit like Kante, isn't it, really? When whoever Kante in like the second division of like French football.
Yeah, I think looking at his Wikipedia page, as accurate as that can be, it looks like it was Bruce Rioch that found him. And then I think it looks like he was going to go to Ajax, and then they couldn't agree personal terms. It fell through, and then he joined Arsenal for £3.5 million, which again, I know it was 1996, but that is a bargain, considering he went to play on.
They're an invincible team. They didn't really pay huge amounts for any of them, did they?
No. He played 406 games in all competitions for Arsenal.
They bought Henry from Juventus. Was it Juventus they bought Henry from?
Yes.
But he wasn't a well-known name, was he?
No, not particularly. I don't think any of them were. Thierry Henry was 11 million from Juventus, which
that's mad. What do you think? Like, one of the best Premier League strikers there's been, and he cost 11 million.
What he would be worth now, oh God only knows, because back then he was just incredible. 11 million Thierry Henry. Let's have a look at the Invincible season, because they had some really Premier League legends.
Gilberto Silva, he was there then, wasn't he? Because he was like their
Gilberto Silva. You mentioned Sylvain Wiltord as well. Didn't play that many times in the Invincible season. And he didn't play for Juventus either. He went back to France.
Did he play? Was he Lyon?
Lyon, yeah. Lyon, Rennes, Marseille, and then of course Robert Pires as well. Absolute legend for Arsenal. £6 million.
Legend anywhere else, or just at Arsenal?
No, he just never quite cut it. Villa just wasn't quite good enough. Freddie Ljungberg as well. another one. £3 million. What a bargain that was. 3 million for Freddie Ljungberg. He was incredible as well. Some absolute bargains in that team. And Dennis Bergkamp, of course. Well known for being a legend. Fly. Yeah, the man who never played in Europe.
That's mad, isn't it? When you think about it.
Another Bruce Rios signing as well. We left him to sign for Arsenal for a fee estimated at £7.5 million. Which is, again, another bargain. What a club legends all over the place for Arsenal. But, bit of a trip down memory lane for us.
Yeah. Cool. Well, this time next week we will be talking about Super Sunday.
Yes,
so that will be probably our main focus next week. Is you probably laughing at me?
Well, you've got two chances to beat me this week, with either Leeds or Chelsea. So unless we win 2 games, you'll have the right to a response.
Okay, all right. If they beat, I don't think Leeds are what they used to be, if I'm honest. So cool. Anything else?
Not from me.
Oh, okay, so we'll be back next week.